Dear participants, it is great pleasure to welcome you for this 8th session on nature and type of geographical data. And it is really indeed great pleasure to introduce and welcome today's resource person, Dr. Ram Raje Mane Deshmukh sir. He is working as an assistant professor and head Department of Geography, Chhatrapati Shivaji College, Satara. He has completed his post graduation in geography in 1993 with first class. I am specially mentioning the same because in that era it was very difficult to get B plus also, and at that time he has completed his post graduation with first class. In 2015 he completed his PhD degree in pilgrim tourism in Pune district with special reference to Alandi, a geographical analysis. This was his PhD title, and he has very much expertise in tourism geography. At present, there are various minor research projects at his credit. He completed 2 minor research projects. Also, he has completed postgraduate diploma in digital cartography. He is a member for life worker, then member of Board of Studies in Geography and Geology under the Faculty of Science and Technology in Shivaji University, Kolhapur. He is the member of Board of Studies in ASP College Devruk, which is one of the autonomous colleges in the Konkan region. It is only autonomous college in the Konkan region, and he has contributed a lot for the curriculum development of the ASP College Devruk. He experience of UG classes for 27 years and PG classes for 11 years, and he till today he has worked in various colleges of Rayat Shikshan Sanstha. He has published his papers in various reputed journals. He published 8 research papers at national level, 12 research papers at international level. He has authored 7 textbooks. It is the one of the great credit at his end. He contributed 6 chapters in edited books. Also, uh, 2 minor research projects are at the credit of Dr. Ram Raje Mane Deshmukh. He is member of various geographical organizations throughout India and even outside of India. With this brief introduction, I would like to welcome today's speaker, Dr. Ram Raje Mane Deshmukh sir. Sir, I am sure you will enlighten all the participants with your experienced lecture. Thank you, sir. May I request you kindly proceed ahead.
Okay, thank you.
And excuse me for keeping my video off because today I have very much connection issue. So
Okay.
please continue.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Sardar Patil, sir. देवरुख शिक्षण प्रसारक मंडळ, न्यायमूर्ती दादासाहेब अठल्ले आर्ट्स, ESR separate commerce, and दादासाहेब पित्रे Science College, देवरुख, Department of Geography and IPSC, in collaboration with Department of Geography, Mata Guzri College Autonomous, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab, Department of Geography, Nagirdas Khandwala College Autonomous, Mumbai, Department of Geography, Chhatrapati Shivaji College Autonomous, Satara, and Department of Geography, Gokte Zolekar College, Ratnagiri, organize national workshop on research methodology in geography. In this organizing committee, Dr. Sardar Patil, convener of the workshop, and my best friend, Anuprit Singh Tiwana, head MG College, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab, Dr. Mosmi Datta, professor and vice principal, NK College, Mumbai, Dr. Surendra Thakur Desai, professor and head JK College, Ratnagiri, Sri Manish Kothe, Assistant Professor, ASP College, Devrut, and Principal of this college, Principal Dr. Narendra Tendolkar, Devrut College, Dr. Kashmir Singh, MG, Fatehgarh Sahib, Punjab, Dr. Anik Joshi, NKC, Mumbai, Principal Dr. B.S. Sivankar, Chhatrapati Shivaji College, Satara, Secretary, Rayat Shikshan Sanstha, Satara, and Principal Dr. P.P. Kulkarni, ZZ College, Ratnagiri, and all participants, my friends, brothers and sisters, good evening to all. First of all, thanks to Dr. Sardar Patil, convener of this workshop, for given an opportunity to deliver a talk in this workshop. Today, I am going to discuss a topic of nature and types of geographical data. Screen share properly, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Screen is visible.
Visible. Okay, sir. No problem. First is, what is the data? What is meaning by the data? Today, we are going to discuss on the very important topic. As you know, the data is at the center point.
Full screen kara sir. Full screen, please.
No, it was in full screen mode. It was in full
Please,
screen.
sir. This is from full screen.
Sir, please put on full screen. Now it is, now it is in full screen mode.
What is data? Any figures or nature or any quantity of an objective is a data. Data is a fact and figure of a particular phenomenon under a specific study. So my friends, data is a quantity, data is a quality as well. When we measure the data in terms of figures, that follows a quantitative data, and when we measure the data in terms of attributes, attitudes, perceptions, what are the types of data? Types of continuous data and other discrete data and the group data or ungrouped data. It means that the data which take all the intervals, it is a continuous data. Example, if I am asking your age, if I am asking your weight, that will tell the weight maybe in kg, maybe in gram, maybe in pounds, and it comes with all these seen as through, it is called a continuous discrete data. It is the data which we count. For example, if I am asking how many delegates have joined this today's conference, that it doesn't come in a fraction. The organizers will not tell me 100 people, and it's not like that 100 people have joined the conference, which is called a disgrace. And so the difference between continuous and discrete data is content data. It is measured, and discrete data, it is know what are the important source of data collection. We have prominently two important sources of data collection. One is primary data and the secondary. As we all know that primary data is a first-hand data that will collect a fresh from the observation, from the samples and from the opinions of the net, is called a primary and secondary data. Second data, it is the data already collected by someone else for their use, and that data we are using for our own research after verification and after validation of the data. It is called a second data. We get into depth of the primary data source. The primary data is collected. These are the types of data, is also known as continuous data, discrete data, grouped data, ungrouped data. Source of data collection is a primary data and a secondary data. Second data shows the data which had been collected by someone else and we are using it for our own research. The data we are allowed to use, but I get out of my experience, let me tell you, the data was collected by someone else. We have to validate that data first, but understand the source of its origin, where can understand the objectivity behind the collect the data by someone else, and if that object is matching with my objectivity, then it is eligible to use the data. Otherwise, we have to go for collection of primary source by which we can collect it. The secondary data, and for many sources are government publication, public records, historical and statistical documents, business documents, technicals and trade journals, autobiography, that memory, diaries, personal letters and correspondence of the eminent people, the notes which have kept by the eminent people, the blogs which are undertaken by the scholars on internet. Then news groups, we have had these news groups that created so many of literature that we can use in geography. By prominent importance we have given for the photographs, drawing and posters, what we prepared, and the last it is the work of art and literacy, meaning of the secondary source, which are applicable to the geography. We keep on music, please understand secondary source is one of the very economical source as compared to Prime Minister, was because we have restricted resources and utilizing this resource is a productive manner. We have to first give consideration to the secondary source after understanding all the drawbacks of secondary sources. The major drawback of secondary sources is the validity of the data. That is, if nothing else, there are very many types of data on the basis of mode of collection, on the basis of distribution, based on the mathematical properties, based on the variables, and includes on the basis of mode of collection, primary and secondary data. Data is essential process in all scientific research. Data collection is an important steps in geographical research. These are the based on the observation, and that's why there are the various types classification of data on the basis of collection, primary and secondary data. What is the meaning by the primary data? Primary data, the data collected originally from the field by the researcher are called as primary data. Maybe data have been already collected on some aspects, but if the researcher obtain information afresh, irrespective of them, his data will be called the primary data. Example, if a survey is to be made of the land use of some part of the country or of a village or the city, primary information or data can be obtained by examining the land cultivated or used there. This is the most important in primary data. Tools of the collection of primary data, there are various tools of the collection of primary data sources. These are the many kinds of means are used for the collection of primary data. interviews, surveys, and fieldworks, internet communications on emails, Google Forms, also include the observation, also include the interviews, questionnaires, schedule, and the registration methods, also includes in the mapping techniques and other methodology are includes in the primary data. There are various advantages of the primary data. First advantage is primary data can be collected as our need. This is the most important, is collected as our need. Second, it is easy to find out that data which can exactly fit to our study. These are most important to exactly fit to our study. The primary data is sufficiently accurate or more reliable, the primary data. There are the advantages and the disadvantages of the primary data. There are various disadvantages of primary data. First one, it is a much costly to collection. Primary data is visit to various places, and that's why it's most costly to collection. Researcher has to spend lot of money, time, and energy. There is a need of printing, editing, and tabulating. There is a need of enumerator. It is difficult to collect because field work requires the first time or more time. Sometimes it is difficult to collect the primary data on same objects. Example is census data cannot be collected by an individual. These are the primary data. Secondary data is the data which is obtained from published or unpublished sources are called as secondary data. Secondary data are those already in the existence and which have been collected for some other purpose than the answering of the question at hand. The secondary data collection the method. The researcher does not collect this data himself. They have already been collected by some man or institution or agency or person for their own purpose, and researcher simply makes use of them. In general, the data which is primary to the source who collect and process them for the first time are secondary to all other sources who use such a data. Example is various published reports. There are the various published reports, also census, also includes in the gazetters, publication of the foreign government, publication of different organizations, books, also include magazines, newspaper, publication of industry and banks, research journals, public record, statistics, papers and bulletins. These are the secondary data collection methods: government publication, public records, historical and statistical documents, business documents, also including technical and trade journals, autobiographies and memories, diaries, personal letters and correspondence, various blogs. Blog is most important today in various blogs. Also include news, groups, photographs, drawing and posters, work of arts and literature. In the secondary data, there are the various advantages of secondary data. Includes in the end advantage, it is much cheaper to use. First advantage, it is much cheaper to use. Second one, there is no need of printing, editing and tabulation. There is no need having enumerator. It is a time and energy saver. It is the most important. It is time and energy saver. It is a much quicker to obtain than primary data. Secondary data are available on same objects where it will be impossible to collect the primary data. These are the advantages of secondary data. There are the disadvantages of secondary data. First disadvantage, it is very difficult to find out the data which can exactly fit for the need of the present project. There is no accuracy. Collect our hand and we use other persons. These are the most important. There are the various disadvantages of this data. Next one is on the basis of distribution. In the basis of distribution, there are two types, temporal and spatial data. On the basis of distribution, there are two types, temporal, the data collected for the time series or over a period of time is called as temporal data. Example, decade, 5 years, also known as the temporal data. Spatial data, when data collected over an area is called a spatial data. Example, data collected for Pune districts or the division of states. These are the on the basis of distribution, temporal spatial data. Next slide, you are seeing a detail in the temporal and spatial data. Next one is based on the mathematical properties. Nominal, in this mathematical properties, nominal data, ordinal data, interval data, and ratio data. In the nominal data, quantitative description, which is generated by the naming of the objects, is known as the nominal data. Is a black and white, also known as the nominal data. In the ordinal data, refers to the attributes which are the distinct in their ranks and order. The order may be ascending or descending. That's like classification of various cities also included in the order type of data are covered in this type, and that's why this ordinal is most important. Third one is the interval data. Equal interval between conjective numbers O is arbitrary, height above sea level. This is the interval of this data. Next one is a ratio data in the basis of the mathematical properties. Ratio data, it refers to proportion or ratio between two items. Ratio refers to use arithmetic numbers in full meaning. Zero based is known as the ratio data. Data based on the variable is four types of data based on the variables. Consider the data collection is a continuous data and discrete data. These are very short in this slide show. Here we take these figures in the value of which there is a very little gap. Example, the rainfall, temperature, agriculture production is known as the continuous data, and the meaning of the discrete data. The data in the value of which there is some break. Discrete data are those in which things occupies individual distinct areas and difference in kinds are bounded by lines that separate from one category from the other. These are the types of most important in this data. Also includes in the discrete data. Source of geographical data. There are the various sources of geographical data. Importance of geographical data in research. In research, there are the importance of geographical data. A variety of geographical data is produced, used, maintained, and shared in application areas. That includes the importance of this data in the transportation, environment, natural resource, agriculture, health, emergency services, and telecommunication. In this data are collected and achieved in varied formats. Geographical data can be used to determine a variety of characteristics of a population. Information gleaned from the research using geographic data enable you to compare basic details such as economic status, average age, and ethnic diversity in different areas of the country. There are the various sources of geographical data. Source of geographical data. Geographical data come in many types from many different sources and captured using many techniques. They are collected, solved and distributed by a wide array of public and private entities. In general, we can divide the collection of geographic data into two main types: directly collected data and remotely censored data. Directly and remotely censored data. In the directly connected data are generated at the source of the phenomena being measured. Example of directly collected data includes measures such as this shown: the temperature readings at specific weather station, elevation recorded by the visiting the location of interest, or the position of a grazing deers equipped with a GPS enabled collars. Second one, remotely censored data. These remotely censored data are measured from the remote distances without any direct contact with the phenomena or a need to visit the location of interest. Although directly collected ground truth data are often used to support accurate interpretation of the remotely censored data. This is also known as the satellite image, sonar reading, and radar. These are all forms of remotely censored data. For each type of data, there is a range of important issues about collection and processing that have an impact on how reliable and useful the data are. This data's importance. There are the types of geographical data. Geographical data are the facts that display phenomena and their special characteristics on the earth. Geographical data has three components. First one is the temporal data, second one is spatial data, and third one is thematic data. In the temporal data is simply data that represents a certain time, such as the land use pattern of any region, total rainfall in Mumbai on July 1st, 2009. Temporal data is collected to analyze weather pattern and other environmental variables, monitor traffic conditions, study demographic trends, and so on. Spatio-temporal database holds data collected across both space and time that describe a phenomenon in a particular location and period of time. Application for spatio-temporal data analysis include the study of biology, ecology, meteorology, medicine, transportation, and forestry. What is a spatial temporal data? What do you mean by the spatial? Spatial refers to space, certain location. Example, spatial data, example as a forest. Temporal refers to time. Example, in 1990 to 2020. Also spatio-temporal, space plus time. Example, forest cover in 1990 and forest cover 2020. It used in a data analysis when data is collected across both space and time. In the slide also include the what is meant by the spatial data. To many, the words spatial data translates directly to map. Maps are certainly a great way to display spatial data, but there is much more spatial data is good for. After all, everything we see and do has some kind of spatial components. Where we live, how we travel, the list doesn't end. By analyzing spatial data and how certain variable impacts our lives, we can learn more about which certain spatial relationship exist, why certain locations are popular travel destinations, why does a brand do successfully in one country and not another. It's time to start adopting spatial and location data practices to better understand human behavior and our influence on the planet. Importance of spatial data. The world is changing at an exponential rate, and it can be challenging to keep up with all that is going on. One of the major changes that we see taking place before our eye is the movement and growth of the human population. With this comes change to business, communities, and the environment. To fully understand why and how changes are occurring and to help predict further trends by mitigating problems, spatial data needs to be a part of your analysis. Here are the various parts important of spatial data in the business activity. For your company or business to be successful, you must ask a variety of data-driven questions. Some of the most important questions are those that help you better understanding your customer's base. One of the first question you may ask is, where is my customer base? This is a spatial data. Spatial data is a great way to understand trends that relate directly to your best and worst customer bases. There is plenty of free census and geographic data available from open data, portals from the government department that you can integrate with your own customer data. The problem, business side selection. Let's say, for example, that you are a company with a product whose core customers base is college students. How are you going to ensure you choose the best location for a brand new store? Also solution, spatial data. You may begin your analysis by identifying the location of the college campus or use demographic data for open data portals to see where people aged 18 to 25 are concentrated. From here, you could incorporate transportation spatial data to see what locations are most accessible. Let's say you find that there is a very convenient transit service nearby? Where do these service take riders? After asking these kinds of questions are doing special analysis, you shall be able to choose a location best suited for your store. Special data in the business arena is not limited to retail. It's also very important for real estate agencies, also insurance companies and any franchises to understand where they will and will not go. With special data, you can discover growth insights, manage facilities and networks, and provides location information to customers. Without considering the special components and how they relate to your business, your risk and possibility of poor results will ensure. Next one is society. In a human relationship with other and our surrounding creates diverse communities throughout the world. Everything we do impacts of communities and the people with it. How can we continue to support each other in our environment? Special data can be help make better prediction about human behavior and understand what variables may influence an individual's choice. By performing special analysis on our communities, we can ensure that neighborhoods are accessible and usable by everyone. In problem, community nuisance. Let's say you work in public service and have received complaints about graffiti or other types of public defacing. There are a few options you could take to address the issue. You could put in the resource to identify the suspects and find them, but that won't necessarily stop other graffiti artists from the drawing in the same area. Also include the solution is special data. Another approach might to look at the special characteristics of that area and compare them to other. Perhaps you notice that well-lit areas in your community do not have problems with graffiti, and a simple solution to solving your street arts issue in this location is to simply put up an additional lamp post. Additional uses of the special data in a societal context include informing citizens about their surroundings, keeping your community safe with timely information, and supporting your community in time of need. Short-term solutions are useful for solving issue, but long-term solutions can solve and prevent issue before they even occurs. Using special data can help you understand these differences with your options and ultimately save your time and money. Next one is environment. The environment is constantly changing due to human influence and other natural forces. To truly understand the environment and the science behind our ecosystem, we must understand how different elements interact with each other. Naturally, this is done using special data. Problem of environmental relationships. Let's consider how the surrounding environment will be impacted by the building a dam. There are many special components to consider here. How much will the reservoir expand behind the dam? How will the best flow, infiltration and drainage change as a result? There are potential more special concerns than just these. Solution also special data. Combining the various sets of special data like soil type, river structure, elevation and other variables can help you understand the relationship between each of the ecosystem variables. You can even take this a step further or create simultaneous based on your understanding of the implementation of dams to show how change will occur over time. Your final result will ultimately help you and others better understand the relationship between humans and our environment. The beauty of complexity of nature is what makes is so fascinating. While various environments and habitats appears vastly different, they bear many similarities to each other. By analyzing the special relationship in a habitat we are familiar with, we can gain insights into other habitats that are more complex or have been studied less. Other environmental related use for data includes sharing information with volunteer of citizen science projects, providing location, specific weather alerts, and tracking plant and animal communities. This is no limit to how special data can be used in understanding natural environments. Importance of temporal data. These are the importance of temporal data, source of spatial data. Importance of temporal data. Temporal data is simply data that represent a state in time, such as a land use pattern. Temporal data is simply data represents state in time, such as the land use pattern of any region. Total rainfall in Mumbai on July 1, 2009. Temporal data is collected to analyze weather pattern and other environmental variables. More traffic conditions, study demographic trends and so on. Temporal data is collected to analyze weather patterns and other environmental variables. Spatial temporal data hosts data collected across both space and time that describe a phenomenon in a particular location and period of time. Application for spatio-temporal data analysis includes the study of biology, ecology, meteorology, medicine, transportation, and forestry. This data comes from many sources ranging from manual data entry to data collected using observational sensors, also satellite data, are generated from simulation models. Below are some examples of temporal data. What is the temporal thinking? My question is, what is the temporal thinking? Temporal focus is characteristics to about the past present, and future, hypothetically focusing on each time period could be beneficial as one can learn from the past, savor the present moment, and plan for the future. Next one is, why do we need temporal database? Why do we need temporal database? Temporal database preserve the ability to see the data as it was seen in the past, while accommodating ability to update even the past in the futures. Do all databases supports temporal data? These are another question. Do all database supports temporal data? Not every database requires a temporal database implementation, but some do. Adding temporal consideration adds complexity in the database structure. What is the concept of temporal database? The concept of database, the temporal database is a collection of time referenced data. In such a database, the time reference capture some temporal aspects of the data. Put differently, the data are time-stamped to temporal aspects are prevalent. Next one is a spatial data. What is a spatial data? Spatial data is any data with a direct or indirect reference to specific location or geographical area. Spatial data is often referred to as geospatial data or geographic information. Spatial data contains more information than just a location on the surface of the earth. Spatial data can have any amount of additional attributes accompanying information about the location. For example, you might have a map displaying building within a city's downtown region. Spatial data are of two types according to storing techniques, namely raster data and also vector data. Raster data are composed of grid cells identified by row and column. The whole geographical area is divided into groups of individual cells which represent an image. Whereas source of spatial data, these are the source of spatial data: discovering geographic data, exploring GIS data, general purpose GIS data, resources, OpenStreetMap, the people's map, GIS data from libraries, data from national and international mapping agencies, more global sources, and geo-referenced images. What are the characteristics of spatial data? Spatial data refers to the shape, size, and location of the features, and the non-spatial data refers to other attributes associated with the features such as name, length, area, volume, population, soil types, etc. How do you collect spatial data? The most common method of collecting spatial data is the use of global positioning system GPS receivers. GPS data collection can be done with a dedicated GPS unit which communicates with a constellation of satellites to measure the position of the GPS units on the Earth's surface. Special components. The special components can be described using one of two models: location oriented. Data is given a coordinate either in an image or in a table. Object oriented data is linked to special entity points, line, polygon or volume. Method of collection data can be classified by the method it was collected: direct measurement, remote sensing, photography, satellite cartography, derived from map, administrative and statutory byproducts of other processes, census and surveys. How to compile the list sources of geographical data? Compile the list of source of geographical data. Use the library catalogs. The library catalog, then resource also includes an internet and also including the library resource. There are next the geographical data and information are the subject of a number of overlapping fields of the study. There are the various fields of study: geo computation, geographic information science, geoinformatics, geomatics, geovisualization. This is in addition to other more specific branches. These branches are following: cartography, geodesy, geography, geostatistics, photogrammetry, remote sensing, spatial data analysis, surveying and topography. Geographical data possesses unique characteristics that are not present in spatial data. On such characteristics is that they are the scale dependent. Spatial data can be gathered at or tabulated for different spatial resolution, such as different pixel sizes in remote sensing images or different census aerial units in population census. Therefore, we can partition space into different scale levels even if we keep the spatial scale somewhat constant. There are many or even infinite ways to form regions, and data can be tabulated according to these various partitioning schemes. In other words, the boundaries of regions can be modified at different scale levels or according to different zonal patterns at about the same scale, and data can be tabulated according to these different zonal systems. But when data tabulated according to different zonal systems are analyzed, it is unlikely that they will provide consistent result even though the same variable are used and the same areas are analyzed. The variability or inconsistency of the analytical results is mainly due to the fact that we can modify aerial unit boundaries, and this problem is known as the modifiable aerial unit problem, MAUP. One may easily recognize that as long as we do not us individual level data but use aggregate data, the MAUP will arise in other social scientific disciplines. Individual observations are often aggregated into groups according to variable socio-economic or demographic variable. The MAUP effects may not be apparent in those causes, but when the observations are grouped by location, the MAUP will emerge in facts as long as the data with such location information, the MAUP will be relevant. Therefore, the MAUP is a concern not just a human geography, but also in the political science, in the context of voting, in sociology, when studying population characteristics, and in economics, when studying regional economic issues, it is equally applicable to the analysis of physical environment. Correlation analysis of problem affect the result. There are three key problems can affect the result of correlation analysis of the geographical data. Most one is the modifiable aerial units, ecological correlation, and closed number sets. These are the modifiable aerial units for the aerial units. Example, enumeration districts or countries. Correlation may measures not only the variation of the variables, but also the arbitrary spatial units utilized. The impact of this arbitrary spatial mesh is difficult to predict and measures. These are the most important modifiable aerial units. Second one is ecological correlation. Different results may be obtained if information is analyzed at different spatial scale. Correlations between individual observations are different to correlations for those individual aggregated into different spatial units. This is terms ecological correlation and is related to the problem of modifiable aerial units. It demonstrates that careful of interpretation are required when applying correlation analysis to data for aerial units. Next one is the closed number sets. When using proportion with sum to 1 or percentage with sum to 100, correlation structure will be based by recording the same things more than once. This is termed closure or the ability to predetermine a given value for a variable once other values are known. If there are three land use categories, one represents 50% of an area and another 30%, there the third category must cover 20% of the area. Wherever possible, closed Questions such as this must not be correlated or recognition should be made of the possible outcomes. And next one is a thematic data. Thematic analysis is a quantitative data analysis method that involves reading through a data set such as transcripts found in the depth interviews or focus groups and identifying patterns in meaning across the data. Thematic analysis was widely used in the field of psychology. Thematic analysis is a method for analyzing qualitative data that entails searching across a data set to identify, analyze, and report repeated patterns. It is a method for the describing data, but it also involves interpretation in the process of selecting codes and constructing themes. These are the various types of data. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for your deliberations related to nature and type of geographical data.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Nature and type of geographical data is one of the very important components in geographical research,
Yes, sir.
and accordingly we have planned all these sessions. Sir, you have delivered very informative lecture in which you have focused on primary data, secondary data, spatial data, non-spatial data, and all other that is temporal data. Geography is I will say that geography is a discipline of spatio-temporal analysis,
Yes, yes.
and the main motive of the discipline is to create laws, theories, and models with the systematic analysis of geographical, socio-economical, political phenomena with spatial and temporal context. And in that connection, you have enlightened to the participants or types of data and nature of data. Now the topic is open for the discussion. The students or researchers may ask the questions concerning the nature and type of data. Other components of the related to the data, that is methods of data collection, methods of data analysis, that will be focused by different scholars or speakers. So if you have any query related to what is spatial, what is non-spatial, what is temporal, what can be included in primary data, what can be included in the secondary data, you please ask the questions or queries concerning the same. Please. Even in chat box also there are no questions or no queries. Dear participants, there is little announcement that tomorrow's session will be on levels of measurement in research and its applications. It is also one of the important component, and Dr. Nilesh Wankhede is going to deliver the session. Then day after tomorrow, there will be session on methods and sources of geographical data collection. Dr. B. Mahalingam from Central University, Karnataka, he is going to deliver the session. And on 14th October, there is one session that is collection of primary data, and the session will be delivered by head of the Department of University of Mumbai, Dr. Sanjukta Sattar Madam. And on 15th October, on the eve of Dasara, we will have a holiday, and from 16th onwards, again the sessions will be continued. There is little change in the planning, that is on 21st October, we will have the session on patents in geography, that is IPR, that is intellectual property right, and patents in geography. It was the perception that the persons working in geography may not file a patent, but very recently few geographers have received the patents for geographical research, and they will focus on how to file a patent and what type of research is required for the patent. And I think you all young researchers are very lucky that you will get an opportunity to listen the persons who have got the patents from government of India. With this concluding remark, I would like to extend my sincere thanks to Dr. Ramraje Mane Deshmukh for delivering the session on nature and types of geographical data, significance of geographical data, with special focus on temporal data, spatial data, uh, primary data, secondary data, what are the probable sources of data. These points have been covered by Dr. Ram Raje Mane Deshmukh, and on behalf of organizing committee, all the organizing institutions, I extend my heartfelt thanks to Dr. Ram Raje Mane Deshmukh sir for delivering the informative lecture, and I hope that it will be very helpful to understand the conceptual background in the process of data collection. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Also, I extend my sincere thanks to all you all. With the kind support from you all, this workshop came into reality. So, thank you once again. We
Thank
will
you.
meet tomorrow at 4 p.m. and tomorrow's focus will be on levels of measurement. This is also one of the important component of geographical research. Thank you. Thank
Thank you,
you.
sir. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.